Welcome again to a special Because Games Matter episode, where we highlight how games can go beyond just being engaging and do real good in the world. And today, with the help of her parents, we bring you Victoria's story. Victoria has always been a curious child. Her very first word wasn't a word, but a question. "Mama, what's that?" She was pointing at a big billboard off a highway near Houston. As her parents, we knew then that she would continue to ask questions her whole life, because before she could even talk, she investigated everything. But little did we know that once she started speaking, she would quite literally talk and move from the time she awoke until the time she fell asleep for years. Oh, and she only slept 2 or 3 hours a night. And nor did we know what a violent and scary road life would also begin to take. Victoria's physically aggressive behaviors started around the time she started kindergarten. Along with the constant not sleeping, sometimes for 24 hours or more, she would quite literally attack us every morning when getting ready for school. Sometimes this required us to physically hold her in a hug until she calmed down, a technique she hated in the moment, but was always thankful for afterward. She would then stay as well behaved as possible while at school, only to come home and have what we called the witching hour. The witching hour started around 4 p.m. daily, and sometimes it would last only a few minutes, and others it ended with trips to the ER, begging for help. These episodes included tearing apart our home, the furniture, and even physically attacking us or her sister. This also led to her being quite isolated at school during her formative years. Her constant anxiety issues, sensory issues, and breakdowns at school had stigmatized her in the eyes of her peers. Even after she was medicated, it remained a challenge for her to make friends, as her schoolmates only saw her as the weird kid. Finally, at 8 years old, after many different diagnoses, tests, and evaluations, we finally had the primary diagnosis of ADHD, in addition to her already treated anxiety disorder. We began medication, in addition to continued therapy, to help her combat the aggressive behaviors and to aid her in the ability to focus enough to complete schoolwork. It worked like magic, and within a week, our girl, with a scary violent streak, became the sweet, shy, well-mannered, and straight-A student we knew was hiding in there all along. We switched schools for her to give her a new start, which improved her both academically and gave her a new social beginning. However, she continued to struggle socially in a major way. By middle school, she had only ever seen one friend outside of the classroom and was never invited to parties or events by any of her classmates. And this was spiraling her into depression and worsened anxiety as she began to hit her teenage years. Then, we read about something called Game to Grow in the local paper. It was an organization founded by a therapist and a teacher to address issues of child mental health in a way that didn't involve medication. They used the background of a popular role-playing game, Dungeons & Dragons, to help the children see themselves in another way. D&D allowed the facilitator to put the children's characters, not the children themselves, into activities and events in a made-up fantasy world that may be overstimulating in the real world. The children are instructed to solve social interaction issues as their character, thereby relieving the stress of real-world stimuli. So, Victoria began participating in Game to Grow when she was 13 years old, and almost immediately, we began to see changes. First, it was simply her excitedly talking about her D&D character, her adventures with her group, and locking herself away less at home. Her ability to evaluate her issues in the realm of her character, and having the assistants work out any social awkwardness, became key for getting her to come out of her shell. Suddenly, this girl, that used to be so isolated and sad, began breaking out. She became excited for the D&D sessions to come, and couldn't wait to be able to explain what had happened in this week's story. And it has since evolved to her seeking out friends with confidence. Now she has a very close circle that she not only confides in, but that she communicates with, spends time with, and invites out. These are seemingly normal things, but we were worried that they would never happen for her, or happen at a cost. But now she's constantly reaching out to help any of her friends, or simply classmates who might need help, and is able to navigate socially with a great group of friends. These D&D sessions with Game to Grow have also helped give her confidence to pursue her hobbies. For instance, Victoria had always had an interest in art and drawing, but never considered herself very good. But one of the tasks that was given to her upon starting with the group was for her to draw her character. And while at first it was a little paralyzing, now she has confidence in her artwork. She shares it both online and with her friends, and even expressed interest in pursuing college coursework around this passion. Plus, she recognizes the correlation between what she's working on at Game to Grow with her real life, and because of that, is miles ahead of a typical 16-year-old in her ability to analyze her own behaviors and moods. She's now able to take in social situations, evaluate them using the techniques she's learned, and respond appropriately. Because of her regular D&D sessions with Game to Grow, their attentive staff, and parents who love to engage with her tales of adventure, Victoria now has a chance to experience life in a way that so many of us often take for granted. And all of you watching, please don't forget to check out the amazing resources and programs from Game to Grow. They're a nonprofit organization that's been helping tons of kids just like Victoria become more confident, creative, and socially capable through gaming. Most recently, they released Critical Core, a tabletop RPG designed specifically to help kids on the autism spectrum build social skills and confidence. And it's a great way for parents to engage with their children at home and for professionals or experienced gamers to use as a social tool. So if you'd like to learn more, help out, or check out Critical Core for yourself, go say hi over at GameToGrow.org.